Greetings and peace. I would like to start this with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu and Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. Now, this presentation I would like to talk about the Book of Sufi Healing by Sheikh Hakim Moinuddin Chisti, who is from the Chisti Sufi order from the India-Pakistan area. That's where you can normally find the origins of this order. And again, as a disclaimer, this book is for education, nonprofit, and entertainment purposes. It's not meant to serve as any medical advice or any medical treatment. For that, I always advise you to go to a licensed physician or healer who can help you in that regard. This is just for the purpose of spiritual knowledge. So now that that's out of the way, we can talk about the author, the book, and what it's trying to teach us. So Sheikh Hakim Moinuddin Chisti is a prominent Sufi master and healer from the Chisti Sufi order. Born in India, he lived in the 20th century and dedicated his life to the teachings and practices of Sufism. And he's widely respected for his spiritual wisdom, compassion, and dedication to serving humanity. And myself, anytime I go to Pakistan, especially that village region close to the Indian border, I always go to all of the Chisti shrines and spend time with the Sufis over there. I have good friends over there. And they normally have their Urs, or their yearly festival, in the summer. So hopefully I'll try to make that at some point in my life. But yes, Sheikh Hakim Moinuddin Chisti, getting back to him, he attracted followers from diverse backgrounds who were drawn to his teachings on Sufism and the transformative power of spiritual healing. And he has a great legacy as a guide and a healer. And in this specific book, he's written other stuff as well. But this specific book, he shows and covers various aspects of Sufi healing, including the use of prayers, Quranic verses, and spiritual exercises to address physical, emotional, and spiritual ailments. And he emphasizes the importance of connecting with the divine and cultivating a deep spiritual awareness as essential elements of the healing process. Through practical guidance and profound wisdom, this book of Sufi healing offers whoever is a seeker of light a deeper understanding of the Sufi approach to healing and invites them to explore the transformative power of spirituality in promoting health and wellness. Further, Sheikh Moinuddin Chisti, he discusses various aspects of Sufi practices and belief, including the meaning of the term Sufi, the connection between Sufism and Islam, and the ultimate goal of serving and obeying Allah. And he also mentions the stages of Sufism and how constant recollection and remembrance of Allah can lead to a state of complete reliance and trust in Him, as it shows that the real Sufi, his goal is to be humble and have a content lifestyle and unconditional love for all of humanity. As it says in the Holy Quran that Allah created you to worship Him, including the jinns and humans were all created for that purpose, to worship the real Lord. And if you do that, you will be all right in your life as you're fulfilling the purpose of your creation. Now, the book provides suggestions for achieving health and healing of the body, mind, and soul, drawing from Islamic teachings and practices. The Sheikh shares personal experiences and expresses gratitude to his Sheikh and those of his Chisti lineage. Sheikh Moinuddin Chisti shows the philosophy of Sufism and the importance of understanding the human body, its functions, and the purpose of human life for achieving true health, and the emphasis on the interconnectedness of the physical, mental, and spiritual aspects of our existence, and to know all is one. Illness has a purpose in purifying and balancing the body. The Sheikh highlights the role of the liver and the nafs, soul, in physical and emotional well-being, and he acknowledges that breath and the activation of the spirit are essential for life. The breath of life exists and continues by the permission of God. Even healers cannot counteract this permission. Interesting cases show that the permission of God determines life and death, as He's the giver and the taker, as it's both taught in the Quran and the Bible. The heart is the center of the soul's existence and stores divine attributes. These attributes are activated by the permission of God and certain sounds we utter. The use of specific sounds can unlock congested areas within the heart and lead to miraculous cures. The words we use in conversation have a profound effect on the body and stimulate physiological functions, as words are spells, and you got to be careful how you use language. The book discusses the interconnection between the physical and spiritual realms in nature and how it affects human health. It explains the hierarchy of creation from terrestrial life to the heavens and the unique qualities of humans, such as reasoning and free will, which is given to us. The book also mentions the influence of animals and jinns on human affairs and the ascent of the soul through the heavenly realms. Sheikh Muinuddin Chisti discusses the different levels of the heavens and the complexity of the universe. He explains that the humans cannot fully understand the creation of Allah, and that at the moment of death, people will see the true nature of the universe. The events in the 8th and 9th heavens are directed by Allah, and the 10th heaven is where the motion of other spheres originates. The 11th heaven is called the Empyrean, and it is a realm of pure light, Nur. Allah created the soul of prophecy, and from it the soul of the rose. The goal of the Sufi is to achieve ultimate union with God. There are stages or stations of the soul that one progresses through in life, including the stations of egotism, the heart, the pure spirit, divine secrets, proximity to Allah, and union with the Beloved. Dance exists in relation to rhythm and motive, requiring motion and rhythm of dancers to be actual. The essence of dance and the soul require rhythm and motive to be manifest on the physical plane. Everything in creation has a unique balance, and disturbances to this balance can lead to disease. Senses, such as touch and smell, have the power to change emotions and memories. Each person has a unique soul, with some souls more refined than others. The initial stage of life is egotism, which must be evolved out of. So you have to get out of that ego in order to achieve enlightenment. The Quran reveals the proper behavior for the evolution of the soul. Remaining in egotism can lead to emotional and physical diseases. And you see that in people who are committing evil or doing evil to self and others. That does manifest in their appearance and health. So when you see ugly, it's inside and out. The next stage is the station of the heart, which also has its own challenges and diseases. Continuation of soul evolution requires a true sheikh or guide. The station of the soul is a blessed state, but still has physical and emotional imbalances that deepen faith. The book discusses the spiritual station of the soul and the imbalances that can occur in this state. These imbalances include arrogance, self-deception, lack of concentration, frivolous attitude, and degradation or degradation of others. The Sheikh mentions physical problems associated with the state, such as auto-intoxication and fever. He emphasizes the importance of treating these imbalances and maintaining a balanced spiritual state. Sheikh Muinuddin Chisti mentions the station of divine secrets, where individuals have a deep understanding of the universe and a close relationship with the Creator. He notes that not everyone will reach this station and discusses the physical and emotional events that can occur in this state. Sufis use breathing exercises and practices found in the Quran, and at advanced levels, recitation can last up to 2 minutes with one breath. The station of nearness allows one to view the highest heaven and glimpse into the next world. Those in nearness may experience severe ecstasy, losing interest in the world. Some may not speak or exhibit bizarre behavior, similarly to the mentally ill. The station of nearness also poses the danger of attributing divinity to oneself and disbelief in God. Higher stages of spiritual evolution come with more tests and frequent encounters with malevolent forces. Union with Allah cannot be attained by effort, but rather through Allah's decision. Only a few individuals in history have reached this final station. People at this station do not experience physical ailments and are informed of their time of death by the angel of death. When they pass, it is a blessed event as they have already detached from the world with their bodies and exist solely in the spiritual realm. The Sufi are described as being immune from the difficulties of the world and are seen as powerful compared to others. They go through a ceremony of initiation called a bayat to become accepted into the circles of sheikhs. The Sufis follow certain practices to progress from state of helpless egotism to divine unity. They also engage in rituals such as the chilla, a 40-day seclusion, to prepare for the reality of death. The process of evolving spiritually, or the concept of spirituality, takes time and dedication. Seekers come to the sheikh seeking guidance and eventually transition to becoming givers themselves, right? You have to sit with someone who has sat with someone, and then you become that same person, and then you pass that on to others. Ultimately, the Sufis are seen as reaching union with Allah, although they do not claim to be prophets themselves. Sheikh Muinuddin Chisti discusses the importance of maintaining the health of the body, mind, and soul through various treatments used by Sufis. He emphasizes the role of diet as a main medicine and the significance of digestion in maintaining balance in the body, as your gut is your second brain, the gut and the heart. And once you have a cleansing of that area, that solves majority of your issues. The book also highlights the importance of food and its preparation, considering factors such as season, climate, and the effect of certain foods on the body. The book shows and highlights the essence of food and the importance of cooking it properly in order to extract its health benefits. Cooking fragrances affect the body's digestion and overall health. Scents help stimulate the digestive process, and the essences of oils can alter the temperation of internal organs. The intake of scents before a meal is important for proper digestion. Onions, for example, release toxins through the eyes when cut, providing a beneficial influence on the eyes. Cooking is a healing process, and the intention and prayer put into food preparation can have a healing influence on those who eat it. Restaurants often lack concern for the food they serve, which can affect the quality and also affect your health. The Sufi practice of invoking God's name before eating is a way to uplift oneself and dedicate the meal to higher ideals. Digestion is seen as a process of cooking the food, and different stages of digestion involves different healings or heatings. Eastern and Western medicine have different views on digestion, but understanding the heating and cooling effects of foods is important for maintaining health. The 4 bodily essences which are produced during digestion have a characteristic temperament of heat and moisture. Imbalances in these essences can lead to disease. Sufi healing describes how imbalances in the body's essences, such as phlegm, are part of the entire process of digestion. Phlegm serves various purposes in the body, and its characteristics can change depending on temperature. Imbalances in the 3rd stage of digestion that affect phlegm can be categorized by the nature of the phlegm, and treatments aim to restore balance. Food selection is based on the heat and cold properties of foods, with hot foods promoting metabolism and cold foods lowering it. Proper digestion is important to prevent diseases, and foods are classified based on their degree of heat or cold. This system can lead to improved health. All elements of nature can be assigned a value according to their heating and cooling effects. The diet can be adjusted based on various factors such as season, climate, altitude, and prevalent illnesses. Traditional societies and their eating habits are based on these dietary principles. Hispanic and African tribal origin diets in the United States have a different system, and of this system due to their connection to Islamic culture, right? So every culture has like its own unique quality about them. A Sufi sheikh understands this system and can recommend foods to correct physical imbalances. The breath plays a crucial role in reaching all organs, and a constriction of breath pathways can lead to disease. Unblock the constriction of breath to unlock blockages and achieve miraculous cures. The Prophet Muhammad's knowledge and recommendations on food and spices are valued by the Sufis. The Sufi path involves adopting the behavior and practices of the sheikh, including his or her eating habits. The Sufi path ultimately leads to harmonizing outward action with the inward condition, the zahir and the batin. The evolution of the Sufi path involves stages of effacement in the image of the sheikh and ultimately in the image of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Fanafi Sheikh, Fanafi Rasul. The sheikh guides and corrects the actions of the murid, his disciple. Dietary habits and recommendations of the Prophet Muhammad, though they may seem old-fashioned or bizarre, are based on divine inspiration and do not admit error. Examples include dipping a fly completely in water before removing it to counteract harmful organisms on its body, and taking a small amount of salt before a meal to aid in digestion. The book discusses the health benefits of following the recommendations of the hadiths, even if they have not been scientifically confirmed. The sheikh also provides a list of various foods and their properties, such as aniseed, apple, asparagus, banana, barley, basil, bread, butter, cauliflower, chamomile, carrot, coconut, coffee bean, coriander seed, chicken, and cinnamon. The sheikh emphasizes the importance of maintaining overall good health through various practices, not just food consumption. Common spices and ingredients used in cooking around the world are discussed in this book, including their various health benefits and uses. This includes information on citron, cucumber, cumin, dates, dried fruit, eggplant, eggs, endive, fenugreek, figs, fish, garlic, ghee, ginger, henna, honey, lentils, which are a good source of protein, lettuce, marjoram, meat, melon, milk, mint, myrtle, narcissus, olives, and olive oil, right? A lot of the doctors tell you to cook your food in olive oil as it serves good benefits. And you really have to read this book in order to understand all of the different instructions and ingredients and how different foods are cooked in order to understand what the sheikh is teaching you. Olives can cause the spleen to overproduce bile and can be hard on the stomach. Olive leaves can be chewed as a treatment for stomach inflammation, skin ulcerations, so situations with the skin, herpes eruptions, and hives. Onions are hot and can correct excess wetness. Digesting onions can improve the flavor of food, but excess cooked onions can cause headaches and forgetfulness. Parsley stimulates sexual activity and can prevent toothache. Peaches generate cold, relax the stomach, and act as a laxative. Pistachios can strengthen the heart when you eat it with egg yolk. Pomegranates settle heart palpitations and have various reported benefits. Quince is good for the soul and can check excessive menstrual flow. Rhubarb opens liver blockages and resolves chronic fever. Rice increases pleasure and dreams and the production of semen. Saffron is excellent for the blood and strengthens the soul. Salt is beautifying to the skin, but excessive use causes itching. Senna is the glory of drugs and strengthens the heart, and it also helps you release yourself as a laxative. Spinach irritates the chest and throat but softens the bowels. Sugar, when eaten in excess, creates disease of moisture. That's why when you get rid of sugar, you lose weight and it relieves you in many ways. Thyme is a digestive aid and has various benefits. Vermicelli is hard to digest but provides excellent nourishment for those with a strong constitution. Vinegar is both hot and cold and is beneficial for toothache and headache. Walnuts are hot and the best remedy for winter cough when you eat it with raisins. Water is the best drink and assists in digestion. Wheat is somewhat hot and balances dryness and moisture. The various herbs and remedies mentioned in this book are simple but effective in rebalancing the body. The remedies should be prepared according to instructions, and dosages should be adjusted based on age. The measurements provided by the sheikh are for reference. Some remedies require overnight soaking, but if not possible, soaking for a few hours and simmering for longer can be done. The sheikh provides instructions for preparing and using herbal formulas for various common ailments. He includes information on storage, administration, and cautionary tips for using the formulas. Some specific formulas are provided for conditions such as anemia, asthma, arthritis, and constipation. So you have to really read this book and understand it to get an idea of what the sheikh is talking about. And mind you, this video only serves as an in-depth analysis, so you have to read the book to fully understand it as well. Fasting is an ancient form of natural healing that has been practiced by Sufis for centuries. Fasting is believed to strengthen self-control and deepen awareness of Allah. Ramadan, the month during which the Quran was sent down, is the primary fast in Islam. To have a valid fast, one must state their intention, abstain from food and drink from sunrise to sunset, avoid negative behaviors, and break the fast with a date or water after sunset. Fasting is a hidden secret action that promotes forbearance and sacrifice. Fasting in Islam involves abstaining from food, drink, and other physical desires from the time just before sunrise until just after sunset. It is a way to control and annul these appetites and is considered a form of worship. Fasting during the month of Ramadan is obligatory for Muslims, but there are also optional fasts that Sufis engage in, those that fast every Monday and Thursday as well. Fasting has both spiritual and physical benefits, as it allows the body to eliminate excess matter and repair damage from long-term dietary abuses. The body may go through a healing crisis during a fast, resulting in the elimination of toxins through processes like fever, sweating, and urination, and all the stuff that gets removed from your body. Fasting can lead to healing crises, which are often mistaken as illness or disease. These crises are the body's way of eliminating toxins. It is important to endure the discomfort and not use drugs to suppress the healing process. Fasting can be done gradually, and Muslims have an advantage because they are strengthened by Allah. Fasting is a blessing from God and has both physical and spiritual benefits. The practice of salah or prayer is also important in Islam and Sufism. It must be performed at specific times throughout the day and includes physical and spiritual components. Performing salah or the prayer cleanses the body and cleans your body and mind and brings one closer to God. The Sheikh describes the practices of salat, a form of prayer in Islam, and its beneficial effects on the body and mind. He explains the different postures and recitations involved in salat and highlights the importance of approaching prayer with humility. Salat is seen as a way to attain spiritual growth and connect with the divine. We were unremembered until I remembered you. No one is responsible for their own concept of life. We should put all thoughts aside except those of God out of our minds when we pray. We should also understand the meaning of the words and contemplate on them deeply. Moses, Musa, was told to remember God with a fearful mind. If we serve Allah and do good acts, we will have no fears or sadness. Distractions are a problem in prayer, both physical and mental. Concentrating on the meaning of what is being recited can help combat mental distractions. It is recommended to pray in a room with no distractions and to avoid wearing jewelry. When one prays, Allah lifts up a screen before him and the angels pray with the worshipper. Some people dismiss salat or as a ritual, but it is important and has marvelous effects. Rumi and Imam al-Ghazali were avid followers of Qalat, right? So the Sheikh is teaching that people will dismiss Qalat as a ritual, but it is important and has good effects. And even Rumi and Ghazali were avid followers of the Khalat. Mansur al-Hallaj was convicted for divulging divine secrets, and that's the reason why he was killed. The Sufis are strong supporters of Khalat, and even Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani was woke up for Fajr prayer by a cat that was actually Satan. Now, why did he wake him up? He tells him that I woke you up because if you missed your obligatory prayer, you would have offered 100 rakats as compensation. I wanted you to only receive the benefits of 2 rakats. Sufism involves many spiritual practices, including extra prayers called the Sunnah prayers. These prayers are an important part of uniting with humanity and with God. The Khalit is an essential practice for overall health and wellness. Devotion and worship should always be maintained, even when desires are fulfilled. The soul of the rose holds healing properties and is considered the essence of the flower. Flowers, including roses, are used in Sufi healing practices. The scent of newborn babies is pure and embodies feeling of trust and reliance on higher power. Flowers imitating the superior sense of the soul of prophecy. The essence of flowers can be extracted through various methods and is used in attars or essential oils that you see in many Muslim stores as well. Care must be taken when using concentrated attars or oils, and they can be diluted in base oils. Fresh blossoms are ideal for extraction purposes. A small bowl of spring water can extract the essence of flowers without worrying about purity or additives. Rose petals can be eaten for healing purposes. People often place rose petals on the tombs of saints to absorb their blessings. Sufis use rose petals charged with Quranic verses for healing. Amber and frankincense are recommended for heart conditions by the sheikh. Burning oils is a common method of applying fragrance. Myrrh, M-Y-R-R-H, is hot and drying and has been used in healing and anointing oils. The sheikh discusses various essential oils and their properties, including myrrh, violet, sandalwood, musk, rose, jasmine, henna, kud, and Jannat al-Firdaus. He explains the methods of applying these oils and their use in different stages of spiritual evolution. And he provides a good overview and teaches us what each oil is used as a healing property for what method and situation. An application is being presented to affect the emotional and spiritual centers where disease conditions originate. The application involves using oils for smell, massage, and inhalation to create balance and harmony in the body. The breath is emphasized as a regulator of emotions and health, and it is important to choose medicines and flower essences that affect the breath and its temperament. The Quran is mentioned as a set of breathing practices, and reciting it carries religious merit. The letters and the sounds of the Arabic language have specific vibratory patterns and effects on the body and soul. And the Sheikh tells us that the focus is on the breath and its connection to healing and spirituality. Further, the Sheikh discusses the use of specific sounds and recitations from the Quran for healing and spiritual practices. He explains how the sounds of certain vowels stimulate different parts of the body and how the Quran contains marks indicating where a reciter should pause and take a breath. Different levels of recitations are also mentioned by the Sheikh, as well as the use of numbers to represent verses of the Quran for practical purposes. He emphasizes that it is only through the permission of Allah that these practices have any effect. The Sheikh discusses the practice of writing and reciting tawhid, which are formulas used for healing purposes in Sufism. These formulas can be written, spoken, or performed in various ways and require special training to be done correctly. He mentions that not all sheikhs possess the same knowledge, and some specialize in specific diseases or situations. Further, the sheikh mentions the importance of zikr, doing dhikr all the time, which is the remembrance of Allah, and its significance in Sufi practice. This remembrance is considered the most excellent form of worship and is believed to purify the soul and open the gates of paradise. The Sheikh also describes the presence of angels during congregations of zikrs and their amazement and joy. The angels tell Allah that people who are engaged in remembrance of Him are returning from an assembly where they were glorifying and praising Him. Allah asks the angel what the people would think if they had seen Him, and the angels replied that they would worship Him even more. Allah then asks what the people ask of Him, and the angels respond that they long for His paradise. Allah asks if they have seen His paradise, and the angels reply that they have not. The angels say that if the people had seen it, they would long for it even more. Allah forgives all those engaged in remembrance of Him, including the insincere ones. The Zikr assembly, also known as Zikrullah, Dhikr is a Sufi ceremony that is performed in different forms by different orders, but the differences are minor. The ceremony lasts about 1 hour, and it involves recitation of sacred phrases, supplications, and recitation from the Holy Quran. The zikr is meant to help one ascend spiritually and catch a glimpse of the divine. The head and body movements during the dhikr are specific to each Sufi order. The dhikr is effective because it resonates in the heart and generates heat in the body, burning out impurities. It is preferable to have a sheikh present during the dhikr to channel divine blessings. And the sheikh shares a story about a dhikr ceremony in Afghanistan that has been held every Thursday for over 1,200 years without interruption. So now you know why every imperial power that went to Afghanistan got their backsides handed to them, because they got spiritual protection behind them as well. In the book, the Sheikh discusses the practice of dhikr, a form of remembrance and a devotion in Sufi traditions, and its benefits. Dhikr can have various effects, including protection from harm, attracting wealth, promoting kindness, removing anxiety, and resolving conflicts. The Sheikh also explores the concept of miracles and their occurrence in Sufi practices, suggesting that they are manifestations of Allah's power and can be understood through the analogy of advanced technology. The Sheikh also discusses the multiple meanings and vibratory effects of reciting the Quran and the cosmic value assigned to each letter of the Arabic alphabet, as it's an important language to master. The Sheikh discusses the concept of Sufism and its connection to the divine realms. He explains the importance of reciting certain prayers and formulas for healing and spiritual growth. The Sufi healing formulas are said to have miraculous effects but require deep immersion and purification. The Sheikh also presents a specific practice called the Makaladas Samawati al-Ard, which is a prayer for protection against illness, which I'm sure you can look up, the Chisti prayer of the Makaladas Samawati al-Ard. Reciting this prayer is believed to bring numerous benefits, including forgiveness of sins and protection from suffering. The Sheikh describes the benefit of reciting a sacred formula and the accomplishments of a contemporary Sufi, Hazrat Abu Anis Barkat Ali, and he discusses the healing effects of reciting certain surahs from the Quran and provides instructions for their recitation. And the importance is that there are certain zikrs, like for example, let's say when you start your day, you recite Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, and Astaghfirullah, I seek the forgiveness of Allah, 100 times each. And if you do that before you start your day, you will have protection from calamities, harms, the devil, shaitan, jinn, anything evil against you, and your doors of prosperity and abundance and protection will be open from sunrise to sunset. And also reciting the verse of the throne, which is the Ayatul Kursi, reciting these zikrs, doing your prayers, eating good, sleeping early, waking up early, are all things that the Sheikh mentions in this book. And again, this only serves as an in-depth analysis, and I encourage you to get the book yourself to fully understand the Sheikh's instructions in terms of the food, the healing, the practices, etc., etc. So again, I hope you benefited from this, and I dedicate this to my friends in the Chisti Sufi order in the border region of India and Pakistan, where I frequently visit to go and have fellowship with them. And God willing, I will go again whenever I'm meant to. So again, take care. Thank you. And assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Peace be with you and yours.